Hi, my name is Jungmin Kwon. I'm a professor at the Seoul National University of Education, and I am going to be talking about game and education at the 5th UNESCO Learning Cities Conference. This is my practice session. So, if we are going to be talking about games, we are going to be talking about Squid Games because that is the hottest game right now. Do you know the new Netflix series Squid Game? Can you raise your hand if you have watched it? I have. Did you enjoy it? Yes, I did. I watched it in one sitting. And I never watch these Netflix series because I'm so busy. Except for Emily in Paris. I watched that in one sitting. That was a good show. Oh, House. That was a good show. And my favorite, Grey's Anatomy. I'm on season 6. Oh, Desperate Housewives in one sitting. And that's how I got my back injured. Because I sat for so long watching the show. So anyways, if you have been up to date with the current affairs of the world, it's hard to miss the newest craze about the Squid Game. The hype has been spreading like wildfire all around the world. So, what is it about Squid Game that's making it so popular? Squid Game is a survival drama that revolves around a contest where 456 players in deep financial debt put their lives at risk to play a series of children's games for a chance to win 45.6 billion won. That's about 40 million US dollars. Director Hwang wrote Squid Game based on his own personal experiences and thoughts on capitalism and class struggles in South Korea. But the reason why it is so popular is because the viewers around the world find themselves empathizing with the characters and the class struggles in the story. And after watching the whole show, you can't help but view life as a game. What distinguishes this story from other survival stories is that if the majority of the players decide to cancel the game, it is immediately terminated. In other words, they can either choose to stay in the game or they could leave. And of course, they choose to play. The players in the Squid Game are not stranded on a desert island or in a virtual reality like in other movies. They're placed in a real-life stadium. But the players choose to play the game because the game of life outside of the stadium is even more cruel. Yes, life is a game. It has rules, competitions, and players. People who know the rules, who are competitive, and who have the resources excel at it. People who don't get the rules or just naturally not competitive or don't have the resources easily become losers. There are people who cheat to win, and then there are people who decide to give up. This game of life is played everywhere around the world by every member of the society. That is one reason why the show was so popular. But that is not the only reason. As soon as the series was out, people were creating their own Squid Games in Roblox and other user-programmed game platforms. They would recreate the game environment in the virtual world as it was in the original show and play the games with other live players. These game videos have hundreds of thousands or even millions of views on YouTube. For example, Red Light, Green Light Challenge has emerged as a particularly popular game on Roblox. Was that creepy enough? The avatars would move, then stop, then move, then stop, just like the real game. This guy you see right here, his name is Mr. Beast, and he is a popular personality on YouTube. Well, at least that's what my kids told me. I never knew him until Squid Game. He recreated the whole Squid Game and held a real contest in the virtual world in which he gave out $45.6 thousand. If you watch the video, you will see that people are truly having fun playing the virtual Squid Game. And on the right here, you see a virtual dalgona game where you have to cut out the shape without breaking the whole candy within the time limit. The Netflix show has only been on network for a little over a month now, and we already see tons of recreated games in the virtual world. And it's not only in the virtual world. People want to play the game in the real world. Why do they want to play the game in the real world? I don't understand. So they order costumes, which I did also. Cut out dalgona candies, which I did also. And play tug-of-war, which I played with my cat also. They wait in line for hours outside a Squid Game pop-up store to participate in mini Squid games, to take on the challenge and experience the thrills. And that's not all. Even though I'm not presenting here on screen, TikTok and Instagram are overflowed with people either playing Squid games or role-playing Squid games. Do you find this phenomenon interesting? Because I, as a researcher, find this social phenomenon very interesting. Because when we see a show, for instance, Grey's Anatomy, my favorite medical drama, we watch it, we think about it, we talk about it, but we don't play it out. Maybe because I'm not smart enough. But this Squid Game drama, people want to participate in games so much that they almost immediately recreated it in virtual worlds and real worlds. Why? What mobilizes people to act it out? Why do they want to play the game so much? I believe it is because our brains are wired for games and play. Since we are born, we are inclined to be curious, imaginative, and engage in playful discovery. In fact, some scholars believe all forms of play are games, even the ones that don't seem to have obvious rules, like playing with dolls, or just roaming freely at playgrounds. Play is game and game is play. And humans, from the very beginning, learn through play. Kids learn social interaction through play. Kids learn laws of nature through play. Kids learn about themselves and the world through play. Then they enter school. And all of a sudden, play is considered a waste of time. Games are only for recreational purposes. And digital games? They suddenly become causes of addiction and criminal activities. But, as we have witnessed in the Squid Game phenomenon, we're naturally wired for games and play. So teachers and researchers, like myself, around the world have been applying gamification strategies to learning for a while now. Game and education, the two words that are unlikely to get along with each other. This is often our go-to solution for those kids who fail in school, who aren't motivated to learn, and those who have trouble learning in traditional ways. I myself, as a researcher in disability studies and special education, applying game elements to learning contents has produced surprising outcomes for those with and without disabilities. Jim G., who is the leading scholar in gaming and education and who was also my teacher at the University of Wisconsin-Madison, argues that games are thinking tools. When it is done right, it empowers learners, makes learning pleasurable, and helps build values and identity in learners. How to make learning fun and meaningful? Try applying these game mechanics and elements to your teaching. Add a story, provide resources, let learners explore freely, hide Easter eggs, give them tools, let them take on challenges and win badges. Design your lesson in pleasantly challenging levels. Give them rewards, let them monitor their own progress. You can apply just one of these strategies, or you can apply all of them in your lesson. Gamifying learning is not to create a fierce competition or condition students' behaviors, but to make learning meaningful and enjoyable. Research shows that gamification of learning has these effects. Students with otherwise low motivation for learning are motivated to participate in class activities and group works. More students experience deeper learning compared to rote learning or just simple memorization. They come out of class with better experience. They are given more choices in a gamified lesson. More choices usually means more ownership in their own learning. And oftentimes for learners with disabilities, learning in gamified environments helps them focus better in a safer environment. Recently, with the worldwide pandemic going on, learning has moved into the virtual worlds, which we also call the Metaverse. Metaverse is the digital earth on top of the physical earth. Our classes and schools and meetings have moved to the digital earth world. And with the technology development, the virtual world is now visual, where we can go to play and learn in. COVID-19 has sped up our move into the digital earth. And I'm not kidding. Do you have real estate there? You might want to get some before it's too late. From Squid Game to the Metaverse, we're immersed in games. And as educators and managers of school systems, we should not shy away from the fact that we are wired to play games, and that there are several other parallel worlds that our kids go and play in, and that the world is changing fast. The world is changing, and so must education. Education should be leading the way through, not drag behind. So today, I ask you to be more open to playing games and learn from it. Apply what you have learned into your own education. Instead of trying to change the learners, try to change the story so the learners are motivated to hear. Try to change your design so the learners are motivated to participate. All learners have hope to win in gaming. They can always try again when they fail a mission. Just like in a game, let us give them more chances. Let us produce winners. Let us empower our learners in every level, in every game. Thank you for listening to my presentation.